Okay, so one of the things that I want to help you guys appreciate today is based on the discussion we had, where and why we would need that expansion joint. So what would likely happen here is that we would create a little section, right? We'd create a section right through this part of the building, and I'm going to go ahead and go beyond this and grab that and say go to view, right? And at that particular area, I would come into this section, right? And I would make a, whoops, sorry. I would come in here and I would make a what? I would make a call out of this area right down here, right? And I'd go in here and I'd probably make that a little smaller and that a little smaller, and I'd grab this, right? And I'd go here and I'd say go to view, and this is section 7 call out 1. I would rename this, all right? I would call this building separation joint, right? And I would rename that to that, so that in this area, what I'm going to have to understand is that right around in here somewhere, I'm going to create a building separation joint. Now, again, I'm going to provide a detail for you. I'm not going to make you draw a whole detail in here, but just so that you're aware in this call out, what we could do if I went to insert and load family, if I went to detail items, thermal and moisture protection, expansion control, expansion joint. Here are some materials that, not my materials, but detail items. See that joint sealant backer rod? Now, again, we're not going to need that in here because this is going to be a whole manufactured joint. But Revit does provide you with some beginnings of detail items that you could use that. And see, here's that expansion joint cover. If I hit open here, right, and then I went down into my families here, right, under detail items, expansion joint floor cover section, right, see how I could come in here and place this thing, and then I could start detailing beneath it. Okay, so truthfully, where would we want to put that expansion joint? We likely would say right between here and here is where we would get that expansion joint. So there is that room separation line. I would probably get that thing further over this direction. Okay, this is where we're going to have that separation, and I'd probably just line that up there. And what we're trying to do here is just say in our drawing, you know, building separation joint at this location, right? I'm gonna pull this out of the way, and actually, yeah, there we go. I would put this in here like that, right? And let's look at some of the things. Can we change much about this? No. And we don't need to, people, because this is just a little area that's showing us where this is located. And what we'll do is we'll put a note on here. We'll probably annotate a note, right? 332nd. Whoops, I need to put my caps lock on. I don't want to put for more detail. I'm just going to put this. All right. So right now, okay. You know what? This is a good teaching moment. Um, so the text I just put in, it looks like it disappeared. Here's a good thing for you to learn right now. I'm glad this happened. You see what happened there? You see how I have the crop window? Remember our crop window? Well, does anybody know what this area around here is called? This is what's called an annotation crop. Look what happens if I pull this too far outside the annotation crop, right? Because it's still touching the crop in some way, it doesn't disappear. But if I go into my window here, you see this right here where it says annotation crop? If I uncheck it, you see my note. But if I go in and check the annotation crop, you see it went away. Now, watch what happens when I pull the annotation crop out further. I can see it. But what if I pull the annotation crop and it's touching it slightly? It completely goes away. The reason this doesn't go away, my datum, is because it's a 3D item, right? Even though that's saying 2D right now, this is a 3D item. If I can check that, right, I see that that is a 2D item. I mean, a 3D item. But my text is a 2D item. And when I go in here and I uncheck that annotation crop, I can see it. But if I don't, you see what I'm saying? I need to make sure that this thing is in here closer and that my annotation crop is not touching it, because if it does, it goes away. And that may be something that you didn't know. All right. So what I'm going to do is move that out a little. Whoops, move it back a little. And then I'm going to say, give me an arrow, but I'm going to say under here, make that a filled 20-degree arrow. And then I'm going to pull this down and I'm going to pull that out. And that's all we're going to put in here for right now. We may draw another little item under here, but we're not going to try and detail this here. We just want them to know at this space is where our building separation joint is occurring. And we're going to give them more information or detail that in another view, and we'll put that information in here before it's all said and done. Okay, so why don't you go ahead and try and get that portion of it done. I'm going to go ahead and save this video and upload it, and we'll go from there. Okay.